broken. My goodness, if Overpass comes back up, surely we don't run that one back all the way for Fnatic. Either way, this is the last matchup of the Challenger stage, so without any further ado, let's party.
Yeah, let's party. Let's party, Stunna. I think that's the vibe in here. We've got the crowd back at it, cheering for mezii. We got Fnatic looking to lock a spot in the Legend stage, the final spot in the Legend stage, Launders. That is what this one boils down to.
Yes.
mezii from 0-3 at the previous major to being on the doorstep of the next stage. And this time, they got that home field advantage.
It's so true. You know, I talked about this a million times, but now that there's no more Furia in the room, there's no more Imperial, there's no more 0-0 Nation, they will be sucking up all the energy here, but it doesn't mean that that's going to be enough. Fnatic are definitely a favorite in this matchup, and that's what's really important.
Right now, Krim's getting up into the Palace. He'll find Buddha early, and that's a good thing for Krims. If we go back to just yesterday when they lost to Outsiders, what was very much an embarrassing loss, I think, for Fnatic, Krims had a very tough match. And, you know, this is a guy that we look back at all of his experience, all his accomplishments. We'll see if he can continue to improve. But for now, it's a hold over towards the B site. Fasher's going to drop DGT, and QZ up next, and it's just instant. Fasher making quick work of the little that was left here of mezii's T push into the B site. Something back from Max. A chance at a second. mezii keeps it clean, and those USPs shoot hot.
Yeah, it's sort of a fast reminder of how good this new Fnatic lineup is. Of course, Krims is the final kind of remaining ember from this lineup in 2015, and he is somebody who, you know, overall consistency is going to be there. It has been for years. There are ups and downs in between there in pockets. At majors is one where maybe there's a little bit of rust involved. They haven't been at a major in 3 years, or sorry, 3 of the previous majors. But just because he had that bad series versus Outsiders, it feels more of an aberration than it does something that's going to happen consistently.
Oh, so little to work with here, but things got a little sketchy. Missed boost. Pistols could have come at them. I like that Fnatic just decided to cancel out and then go deep with the utility damage. So Fasher picks it up. And Fasher already starting to rack up some numbers here. The first Dutch player to be inside the server at a major since Chris J. And, you know, I think there's a lot of representation in terms of the two teams, in fact, tonight. South America, it's not just about Brazil. 2 Uruguayans, a Chilean, an Argentinian, and a Brazilian. That's what makes up this mezii team, a real mixed bag, and I think that's just a really cool story. When we talk about the South American region, it's generally just Brazil, Brazil, Brazil.
Yes.
But
and
there's many flavors down here.
They even managed to squeeze an extra Brazilian on with Zach as the coach.
Of course.
Right? But you could definitely see NQZ, when they were going up against their other South American competition, trying to remind everybody that he is also from this region and wants some respect as well. And I think he is going to get that today for sure. But this team for me is so much about Max and DGT specifically. The stats that DGT brings, them both being from Uruguay, and also for Max, who is the IGL and a big reason that they get through some of their hardest games. Ooh, all right.
Close Krims, close Krims.
Oh, the timing is so perfect right there from Krims.
Yeah, well done, right? Thought for a second maybe he was going to let that one slide, but no, sir. mezii and Krims inside B, holding things back for the time being. Oh, mezii. That last bullet just magnetized to the head of NQZ, so 3-0 start. Fnatic, it looks good.
It does. Now, we have casted all of the most epic mezii games.
Dude, I've been at every single one.
I know, I feel like we're the mezii casters. But when we talk about this matchup, it feels like, okay, you know, we casted the Americas RMR, right? So we have rose-tinted glasses for some of the teams that came out of there, how hard they played and how hard those games were, and some amazing wins. And that's not to take anything away from it, but Fnatic had to play, gotta say, a much harder RMR, right?
Undeniably.
Yeah, you know, just a few countries away, but versus all of the European teams. And so it is a step up in competition.
These few pistols that mezii can scatter across the map, pressuring into the A site. MP9 nearly gets away from Fasher. nicoodoz is going to slide in with 2. Palace Peak shut down, pistols out. Roy's on that scoreboard, and now nicoodoz and Roy starting to warm up. They hadn't been given gunfights until now.
Yeah.
And If you can get a powered up nicoodoz on a CT side, I think you have the winning formula for Fnatic.
Yeah, no kidding. And when they played against outsiders, I think one of the great part about their setup is that, you know, it's kind of hard to carve your identity out in the top 10 or top 15 in terms of why it should be you winning versus some of these other top teams. And when Fnatic just made this crazy run in the last couple of months, taking a lot of big scalps, it was because they did find a way to play CS a little bit more differently. Tons of off angles will be involved in their CT sides, and the way they open up positions by holding aggressively in one spot just to leave nicoodoz in a position to get a really deep angle. It feels like they're hard to figure out their setups and hard to take them apart from that perspective. When they played against outsiders on Mirage, a huge reason why they lost was actually just like Crims, for example. You know, he had a really bad day. But when he looked at the setups looked good overall. nicoodoz hit some good shots. Roy was still feeling very confident. And today they look a little sharper. It kind of feels like looking at Cloud9 versus EG versus looking at Cloud9 today.
Right.
They're just getting better and better.
Really kind of warming in, slotting in, and NQZ, welcome to the game. His first kill as he shuts down Roy's flank. That was a lot of info for Fnatic, justified the two-player B-stack. But losing that, with enough time for mezii to rock the boat either way, makes things curious. Buddha's gonna burn nicoodoz as he brings him with him. And Fasher is low. Oh, but mezii gonna go ahead and lock down Catwalk. We get the dropout from window. It's a double from mezii. And sometimes with the IGL role bogging down mezii as of late, it's easy to forget this guy was once an absolute star. And now he hits hard. Inside that B site, 3 kills, and he washes away mizee's start for the 5-0.
Before his first chance when he got to play on Cloud9, basically, the reviews from all the people that played with him is this kid is the best player I've ever played with. He's the guy who's the most well-balanced. He knows all of his utility. He has a smoke lineup for every single angle. He has really great aim. He walks with right-click mouse, and I don't understand why.
We can forget about that.
We can forget about that, but you know what? You've got to accept the bad with the good, and if that's the bad, then we're feeling pretty good about mezii.
We'll forgive him.
Yeah, but we won't forget.
mezii in with a half buy. Galil on DGT. There's enough util here to maybe blanket out the site. They're going to go forward. Nice timing on that. I do like it. They put out the incendiary, they charge right through, and look what it nets them. There's no defense committed to within the bomb site, but we do already have 3 members of Fnatic trying to get up Catwalk, so why not go for the box boost first, see if you can get those prying eyes in. Nothing will be shown from mezii, so a very curious situation where Fnatic could take a bit of a chance here and try to run this retake.
Yeah, Roy's kit is going to be very important here because he has the damage grenades. The smokes will be meaningful, but they've got to flush people out of positions.
That's a nice start. NQZ, the one player able to peek and shave one off already. Fasher, what a turn. And Roy, he's going to get Max out of the apartments. This one's going to come down to the crunch. Final few seconds to spare. Ops backing up. And what do you know? mezii pressing into that bomb site. They'll lose everything they invest, but they walk away with the round.
I'm almost positive that this is a full rifle round both ways. Fnatic save if mezii don't make some kind of blatant error in that post plant, because you lose the B site because you didn't play inside of it, and the reason they didn't is because they decided to go for mid control fast. This might have been a misread of the money, for example, but they should have known, since it was 5 straight, that there were either going to be a half buy or no buy at all, which means you want to have an anchor. Normally, if you know this is coming, you don't play 2 on cat. You play 1 bench, you play 1 in market, something passive, but something within the site to stop them as they come out. And we see what too much control can do.
Ooh, nicoodoz though. He's going to crack the whip into the A ramp.
Oh, I wonder if NQZ saw this cross. I'm sure they're going to try to punish it if they did, and he's been holding on to this angle, but it's mezii who crossed up actually with an op. Man.
The double op here from Fnatic.
I feel like I would absolutely rather be the CT here. It just comes down to whether or not he wants to move. Might get a jump across.
Player peek behind before the op moves in. No. It's David to go right into the angle. Gets slapped back.
Yeah,
With that, it's like the warning sign here for the CTs on B.
Yeah, that was such a deep position for mezii to be in. And of course, the second op is just brutal. mezii lost every single player last round. So anything that made that a bonus with some left over in the reserves, that's all gone now. Yeah, they've had to basically take out a loan to put together a buy, and
Debt collector's coming.
Yeah, debt collector is coming.
He'll break your legs.
They really go above and beyond.
Yeah, you know, it's called passion, you know? It's a career choice. Max, he's inside connector. There's still maybe a little life left on this. Again, huge risk, right? Talking about the economic problems that come with a loss. But with an entry, the hopes are still alive. The dream is still ticking, and Fasher comes kicking through the con side. He's going to get bombed down into the fire. He's going to be able to lock into this corner as well. Nothing NQZ can do. So you'd think, man, I'd love to save this off. However, now surrounded. Worst case scenario here, he dies in 10 seconds, but nicoodoz puts an end to him. 6-1 for fnatic, and despite that one problem of not having a B anchor in the round prior, this has been a flawless start.
Yeah, maybe just a small misplay by starting out with mid control when you don't really need it versus pistols in that situation. But outside of that, it has been nothing but wins here for fnatic, and they can even go back to a setup like that. It'd be kind of unlikely to think that mezii would go into a full B hit. Again, however, this time it will be with pistols, so maybe Max will keep that in the back pocket. And by the way he frags, you would never think he's the IGL of the team. And honestly, he is one of the core riflers of the roster, on top of making all the calls. Nothing but positive things to say about Max as an up-and-coming IGL out of a region that just doesn't have any others that we talk about. And Zach, of course, standing behind them, former Immortals coach. He has absolutely been around the block. And I remember doing an interview with him when I worked back at Yahoo Esports in 2017, and he said that he believes he's the best coach. He says no one else does it like I do it. And you talk to him, and he's super humble normally.
Sure.
But when it came to coaching, he felt very impassioned about that fact. And I think he's shown with a roster of players that nobody has heard of that they really are a threat to international competition, and it's pretty exciting to watch. Yeah, that's what we all want, is for teams from different countries, smaller countries, to be viable on the world stage.
You think about players who don't really come from countries with predecessors. You're really digging through and coming up with what could be gold.
Like the UK, we got mezii.
Yeah, imagine that.
It's a good egg, that one.
Could be coming home. Molotov goes deep onto the ramp. It's going to flush mezii into Fasher. He's just kept himself tucked in. Element of surprise now gone, but great cover from above. nicoodoz just pulls them apart and pulls them into that A site. Nothing here for mezii, not a thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety when it comes to setups. They're going to have a deep enough playbook to carry them through this first 15 rounds. It will be more than difficult for mezii to find a really easily exploitable weakness in terms of, I would say the hard part is trying to condition fnatic. And I think on the T side, when we saw them play on Overpass, for example, you could see that some of their defaults were lacking a little bit, and I'm going to assume that just wasn't their best self. We, of course, didn't get to watch a lot of their games because they were playing over in a simultaneous European RMR, but based on every single team they played, that was a top team. FaZe, Na'Vi, Vitality, even if they lost, they always took a map. And even that alone is pretty impressive on top of a lot of their BO1 victories.
I think the only thing as of late that is kind of this big question mark is that blowout versus Outsiders on Overpass. Barring that 16-1, there was no indication that fnatic were going to stumble up that badly. So we'll see if they can just kind of wipe that off the slate.
And then talking about the rest of the roster, we don't need to worry about Crims at a major. We don't even need to worry about nicoodoz at a major. Roy, they made top 8. At Antwerp, they kind of have earned their stripes in that regard. But mezii, as the IGL, he has every right to be a little bit nervous. High pressure match, and if your IGL's nervous, even if you have great players, that can kind of have a trickle down effect, right?
Sure. That it sure does.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like that's the case today.
Look at this, the confidence already from Fasher. He is, again, right, the one piece that could be shaky. 13-2 starting here on Mirage. mezii swinging the AWP, drops 2 bodies, bottom con.
Great awareness.
And it is just, again, awareness, right? Ready for everything whenever it comes at them. mezii, I feel like right now, they can't even contain this CT side from fnatic.
Yeah, and they're trying to play fast, and they're trying to play active, and they're trying a few different things. They're just getting cut off at the pass almost every single time. So 2 players left alive with 25 seconds left. And I know that also they try to stretch mid-rounds as thin as possible. That's the other exciting part about watching mezii. When we watched their qualification game at Antwerp and they, closed it out on Dust too. I think it was versus Pain. Very heated matchup. It was rounds that went down 4v5, they still won. They did that consistently because I think they like to break out of theory in the 5v5 and those setups and make it all about improvising, and in those situations, I think they really show their range. They really show how smart they can be. They really show how much they believe in themselves, and they're also a team that makes great comebacks. So if you're watching right now, that's something that should hook you in. mezii, they still think they can win this map, and I think that's one of the most fun parts about watching them.
The belief is there, but to be honest, right, remember, one round the anomaly from mezii comes by way of that mispositioned fnatic setup, we'll call it. And even then, every single player died post-plan. But this time, it's going to be quick. DGT already looking to test it. They're going to go back into that B hit, and it's Roy behind Arch. nicoodoz, eyes in middle.
nicoodoz has been really active. You got to appreciate the amount of positions that he's played so far.
Ooh, there it is.
That's a good find.
Good flash from NQZ, gets DGT active. Now mezii. He's floating around while Crims, of course, still sits on that B site, but Crims isn't the kind of guy to panic. He's not going to force you to over-rotate, but as he suddenly finds himself set on fire, nicoodoz knows that mid was compromised. Crims, yeah, he's going to need some assistance here. So mezii starts to come over. They're going to be occupied with apartments. There's already a player on the front side of site, and that is Buddha. He catches Crims with a headshot. We've got both these ops trying to scour the site, but nobody's giving angles. nicoodoz decides to go in and take one on his own damn terms. And in doing so, starts to unravel all this. He gets past the windowsill, catches DGT deep over towards the arch side, and now he hunts the window player, but Max is still front sight. Max catches mezii, nicoodoz slides between, and we've got mezii back with a round win.
That's right, talk to him, Max, leading from the front. Some really great rifle frags there, good positioning, good awareness. I mean, he couldn't see nicoodoz as nicoodoz was so actively hunting his position down, and yet he was able to avoid him entirely, still find these other fights, and this was a real battle of the minds here, of course. We know it's all about lock-offs when it comes to attacking the B side. Getting into the window and holding down market is the first step. Anybody who's past that point when the exec comes out, they're free to roam a little bit, and that's what nicoodoz was doing. But fnatic were very careful about not giving up a kill until some action happened, and here we are, already into round 11, halfway up the A site.
Roy's gonna, I was gonna say force his way through, but he holds back, at least just for the second. mezii comes in with a kill on Fasher, and we've got Max, the only player up, tapped back by Fasher. And just like that last time mezii put a round up, it just gets deleted. You'd almost forget about their success by how damning the follow-up is from fnatic.
Yeah, and honestly, it takes a lot of balls to go for a fast strat, like right after that round win. I mean, you could be rattled, but now that you've lost that, you're kind of back to square one. And you'll always think on a fast strat, if you get melted down that quickly, oh, we could have tried to draw out a default and do some damage to the economy while also having a chance to win the round. And now they kind of feel like, well, we just got multi-frag on an A hit that just didn't work this time, and that can be kind of depressing. So mezii with no money left over, and this half kind of closing in around them. We'll see off the T timeout what they can do. You can see a very kind of emphatic Zach behind them, trying to inspire some confidence. And with that Immortals lineup, you know, he has found himself in a major final before as well. So that's the kind of experience that can make you believe. If he says something, even if he's lying, it might be what you need to hear. I would believe a liar who won the major.
Right.
You know, or made a final.
Give the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
Sometimes lies are necessary. Right now, mezii need to be told that this one's still in their control. 3 players to face up Con, but Smoke allows the cross first.
And we look again at these incredibly active positions.
This is new.
Yeah, Fasher is just coming through, pushing down. Mid control is being taken. We're getting too many picks, though, with these ops. And now, at least because they won that one round, mezii's not gone back into it, so they've just got to worry about nicoodoz.
Oh, Fasher, though, going to continue to tear them up as he has 17-3 in the first 12 rounds. And then nicoodoz is always good for that one towards ramp, it seems. David, we'll give him that. Cracks Crims, and DGT managed to push his way through, but remember, he only has 2 health, right? So he has to keep it clean, and mezii, he gets that one bullet in, the one golden shot to just take all the hope back out of the mezii sails. Yeah, David, this is interesting. Grabs the M4, finds what should be, yes sir, the freebie. Little wall bang on that. David then makes the jump over, timing here could catch the B player off guard, and don't forget, he's got the bomb. If he can get this kill towards B, then David is absolutely on for the 1 versus 3. But of course, it's nicoodoz.
Yes.
He peeks us out through connector, catches him up on catwalk. Double digits, fnatic.
I mean, look at the amount of kills right now. Fasher with 17, nicoodoz right on his tail with 16, mezii closely behind as a B player with 12 frags. Everybody is chipping in at the moment, and we talk about this team with Roy as the most kind of powerful positions on the roster and the hard carry in a lot of their big games, and he only has 6 frags, and they don't even really need him. Plus, he's scared of vegetables.
And fruits.
A lot of weirdos on this roster.
Yeah, but you know what?
One unverified, one scared of vegetables, one walks with right click. Cribs is bald.
Just a bunch of freaks. But luckily, this is CS. We all get weird. nicoodoz gonna go down. 16-3 with that death. What a half he is having. Little op dominance. And, you know, this wouldn't be the first map that NQZ kind of gets, well, outdone, we'll put it. Had a slower start when they first played on stage.
Well, what's happened here, though? nicoodoz dies. All right, we're all going B. Looks like so all they're going to try to do is just push, take a risk and push, take cat control. This could be an interesting adjustment. This is one where if mezii take too much time, then fnatic get to have their cake and eat it too, in the sense of leaving the A side open, but still being in time to defend it while clearing out the entirety of the B side. And look, now the full flank can potentially come around. Now the only thing is this. Oh, Max was hunting back into underpass to just see if that option was there.
They could still just follow through, though. No need to complicate the problem. mezii, A site looking nice and prime for the taking. It's Buddha versus Fasher on the side of connector, but they've given time for Crims to set up over on Cat. So from a distance, he lends that helping hand. Roy's gonna follow through, slides into the site, but DGT comes out and gets him. We've got a man advantage, mezii, a chance to finally put a third one up, and mezii goes down. So there we go. It's enough to just keep that hope alive.
Look how many flashes came over top of this staircase. They layered those so kind of stubbornly to make sure whoever was there was blind, or that once it felt like the flashes were finished, that they would finally come to, sitting there waiting for their duel that was out in the open. No, a third flash came over. They got that stairs kill. Now there was one on Cat to provide good cover, and that has been the thing about fnatic. They've had more than one person watching the same position, and that kind of coverage has resulted in a lot of their easiest rounds, but finally it catches up with them. mezii pull one out, picking the correct site, mid-rounding well, and keeping their wits about them, even though they found an empty site, right? Making sure not to just simply cross, get that bomb down, going to some regular post plan. It got scary when Max died, but they held it together.
Holding it together and hanging on. That kind of feels like the trend of this half. You know, props to mezii keeping it varied, right? We talk about the different looks these rounds have had, despite most of the results being fnatic racking them up.
Oh, I mean, this round could result in a 12-3. We look at a Galil here from mezii. Everyone's money's very low. Lots of pressure here.
Not ideal.
In round 14.
Gonna go back into that mid-emphasis. Bomb sits back in B with Buddha up ahead of it. We've seen a good B split come by way of a kill on Crims the first. And here we go. Max headhunting, but met by fire, so they're gonna have to get stalled out. This could set up Roy. We talk about how he hasn't had to really hit hard just yet, but now that could have been his moment. David's gonna catch him on the turn. nicoodoz point blank, finding the window lurk, and Max isn't gonna get up into any trouble this round. mezii, inside sight, waits again with Crims still towards Arch. They know this pressure is coming.
Yeah, and there's still a late cat hit that can get involved as well. Crims is kind of safe for that, but let's see once he gets spotted.
Ooh, tucks in. It's going to give him another few feet to work forward. mezii now he could get blindsided. Sees the player drop, still wins the duel. It's only 12 health. Crims is up next, catches the push, bomb goes down, and now it's desperation. NQZ finds the first and saw that face of mezii. David comes in with the trade, and this 2v4 gets evened out. We've got a player towards the back door sliding in. It's Fasher, and we know what he's done already. Easy pickup onto the offer. David's turn, but he goes down, and Fasher simply won't stop.
Yeah, he's having a statement game right now. 19 frags. This one will be a reference, and it's, again, the most high-pressure situation in the 2-2 matchup. Feels like every kill is worth 2 for the resume in a game like this. On to round 15, mezii looking for 4, and they actually do string together a pretty competent buy. I mean, they've got multiple AKs here, just no op. That's the one big concession. But they couldn't figure out how to change the positions of the two players who were within the site there. Crims was just left untested, and even though they left some gaps, they kept getting tunnel visioned on the other guy.
Roy's looking to slide through. Oh, sees the legs of Max. Fasher again.
21.
Doesn't matter where he is. Turns at 90 degrees, snaps down onto the ramp. nicoodoz can worry about Palace, and Fasher's even going to find a chance to just walk this one back.
Yeah, now he can get to an even stronger spot with no punish here, and it's true. They couldn't have just walked out of Palace. There would have been another CT. nicoodoz covering him so damn well all game.
Another 2v4 attempt. Max already spotted at the top of mid, so they know that there's something in transition. It's the bomb that gets shown as well, so could create a bigger question mark. Poor NQZ just looking to slide out, and even with the lesser health, that's a hell of a headshot.
Now they just close in on him, though. In Tetris is not a fun spot. Crims will take him out.
Max
down,
1v3.
Down to Max. Down to young Max here.
Seen him put up the numbers, but it's been all of mezii that kind of gets snubbed out of this half. They're going to figure out where he is. He could slide under the op as nicoodoz gets pressured back into the jungle. Ticket player yet to peek. That's Crims back at a distance. More of Max's health shaved low. And now that clock also starts to work against him. He knows at least where 2 CTs are. But these are going to have to be the sickest headshots that you have ever seen. And as he comes through first, nicoodoz does get dropped. Max only on 10. Every step, it felt as though it's simply too much to ask of him. Crims, all you have to do is peek, but now that gun's back out, and Max has the smallest, slimmest chance at this clutch.
Oh, he's floating, but he's safe from triple right now.
But mezii's gonna find him, and there for fnatic. Sure enough, playing numbers round after round, a bounce back from the beating that outsiders gave them. 12-3 on the half, and mezii's defense needs to be impenetrable.
I'm flashing benches.
I'll come CT.
I have AF. Main site.
One stairs, one
Mine
stairs.
default.
Come on, slow.
Stairs one.
One
I have
stairs,
AF.
one stairs,
Tetris. I'm holding him. I'm holding him.
Nice!
Good shit.
Hold boys.
Nice, good flashes, guys.
Yeah, great flashes.
Hey Future Pros! I wanted to show you an alternate way to take some mid control on Mirage. To get the most out of this, you'll need 4 Future Pros, 2 smokes, 2 flashes, a molly, and a HE. Future Pro number 1, you'll be throwing the top mid smoke. To throw the smoke, stand beside the stairs. Aim at the wire above the corner of the building. Then just throw the smoke. Future Pro number 2, you will throw the smoke that lands on the mid ramp. Stand at the opposite end of the stairs as Future Pro 1. Place the tip of your smoke over this dark smudge. Then just throw the smoke. A note for this, you will need the classic view model to line this one up. Future Pro number 3, you'll be throwing a couple of supporting flashes. To throw your first, run towards this wooden beam. While against the beam, aim just to the right of the bottom of this line. Running jump throw the flash to blind anyone who could have a good spawn. Then toss your second flash into the ramp smoke. Future Pro number 4, you will actually get to utilize this nifty ramp smoke, but first bank a molly off this wall which will land behind the ramp smoke. Also toss a HE into mid if you want. Now you get to sit behind the smoke and look for some fights. Listen out for some burn damage as a CT will think their best option might be to play behind the smoke. From the CT perspective, you can see it'll be very difficult to spot a T over the smoke. so good luck.
And so as we jump back to Mirage, we get an absolute domination from some of these anchors. Fasher, 21-6, 18 kills on nicoodoz. It just feels like the individual levels of fnatic are simply regions above that of mezii at the moment.
You can almost recount exactly what they did to get those kills because they were all so memorable and there were just so many. I mean, in terms of the individual level, they just seemed way ahead of mezii. And you got to hand it to mezii. They never looked like they were playing without confidence. They kept trying to do things every single round. It's just they got hard stops. You know, the top frag on the team, 9 kills in max. And right now, at least they get CT side to look forward to. But this is, of course, their map pick. And fnatic are having a great time.
Wouldn't be the first massive CT side comeback we got today. Cloud9, the champions of that, right before this series gets started. mezii need to be inspired by it, because 3 rounds, all of a sudden this pistol feels like it is everything.
Yeah. A little fired up after that spanking from outsiders. Looking a little bit. And that's kind of that energy is kind of what we saw with Cloud9 as well.
Sure.
Not the same team on days 1 and 2 as 3 and 4.
Given a chance to power up.
Yeah.
You know, that is the criticism of the 2 best of 1s, right? One day decides if you're 2/3 of the way to elimination or the legend stage. C9 missed their stride, but David sure won't. 2 bullets out of the Berettas, and Roy gets dropped as he looked to face up ramp. Now that bomb is actually jumping its way through window. There's a duel between DGT and nicoodoz that just gave that bomb over to the side of the CTs. Crims is the only one to do anything here for fnatic. So even though they only got those 3 T rounds, it looks like mezii are going to extend play here on Mirage. Crims dropped. And a little life throughout the crowd will bode well for mezii.
And this crowd has been witness to some fantastic comebacks all event long. So I'm sure they're believing and holding their nerve and waiting to see what can come of this pistol round win. But a great shot from David to set the tone, followed by some excellent shots from everyone thereafter. And now it will be a fnatic with no money, looking to QB sneak. 4 in Palace, bomb top mid.
What could possibly go wrong?
Right.
David playing triple box.
There's the bomb.
And there's the pack of players that should get finished off. All good. Max comes in with the FAMAS. It is nicoodoz left over. Come on, get David. He's got 1 HP. The block would have been enough.
Maybe there's some thought there to have the bomb go out mid, because I can't see a world where mezii doesn't think he's going to die from 1 million angles. But maybe if you don't think, let's say your goal isn't to plant the bomb for once. You haven't invested anything. So
Sure.
Then if you have the bomb go out mid, you could reasonably say CTs will organize around it, holding on to it. And that gives you actually a chance from some random vantage point to get some like unlucky or lucky kills, I should say. And they know also that mezii would have invested pretty heavily. No bomb planted on the first round. Yeah. I'm only giving mezii some credit because he came up with that boost on Inferno.
Yes.
Inside of
It's unorthodox.
Evo. Yeah, he's been thinking outside the box.
Method to fnatic's madness. Ooh, nice nade from DGT. Hones in on nicoodoz. So first gun round from fnatic. And they're going to have to be playing off the 4v5. Fasher has been an absolute animal so far on this first map, but it's DGT with another chance to shine. Mid gets shut down just as easily as the ramp. Fasher finally gets a chance to activate, but nothing seems to go swimmingly for fnatic, and Crims is going to be left all alone. mezii, this is what you need. Not only win pistol, convert clean, get that first gun round down, but do it with a bunch of bodies up. The free AKs are coming. You know, we are still in baby's first steps of a comeback. but it's walking.
Yeah, it is walking. It is walking, and that was a very clean. I mean, fnatic, they just want to get like a couple of kills here in this situation. Didn't really come close to it. Fighting on the outside of a smoke. The only nice thing that happened was Fasher's kind of kill on David. Outside of that, it's all money for mezii. Into a half buy, Tech9s, and again, to give credit to mezii, I think he's given a lot of unique thought to rounds like this, pistols, half buys. So let's see what the idea is.
No, Buddha. Take that nade back out. That's the big one. No early damage, so they're going to press in close. Buddha's got support, but still found out in the open. And NQZ, well, he's going to keep on tapping. Makes it nice and easy. Fasher and nicoodoz down without a fight. Roy to 32 health will answer. This is a 1v3 with a huge health disadvantage. But DGT's sliding out, and sure enough, Roy's not ready for that one. So now within 5.
Yeah.
mezii. It's not just one gun round they win. They get through those half buys. And now it feels like anything is possible.
Absolutely, and it makes up for some of the damage that wasn't done that previous round to grab these 3 kills for fnatic, but that's not all they need. The banks are starting to be built up here. The crowd is at its maximum decibels, the max decibels. They're basically a fighter jet at the moment, the amount of noise that is being made. And it's only after the game we realized how loud we had to talk the entire time,
yeah,
just to be able to hear ourselves. This whole building is so alive all day long. It's amazing. It's amazing. It really is.
Day 4, by the way.
Day 4, by the way. Ooh, nice
Roy.
shot from Roy.
Oh, nice. The wall bang. nicoodoz, little style on that one sprinkled in and just, oh, sorry. I don't hear anything anymore. 3 kills just like that, and this place is silent.
Oh. That's that library we heard about.
I gotta say, those ones come in quick.
But even when it's quiet, there's still noise. That was a beautiful play. I mean, overall, first of all, first shot makes it a lot easier for other CTs to make some mistakes. So got to give credit to Roy for that quick one outside of mid. But then coming over top of the balcony, letting one run by, and then having one spam where you would stand to see up the ladder. I mean,
yeah, really cool.
Really thinking there.
Just in case.
So it means that even if there's no one there, he can run across that balcony, never has to worry about bottom of ladder.
Yep. Allows for him to just fixate on the site.
It's kind of, when it's always a good option, that's how you know it's a great idea.
And it's 3rd player in, right? So it's not as though you're leaving anybody without support. It's just a what-if situation.
Oh,
and
the knife's coming out.
Oh, he's... Oh! Crims, he was so close.
One right click away.
So close.
All right. Well,
Man's walking away with some scars, but at least mezii heart's still beating.
But with the op carried forward, that's an op that they wouldn't have had. So this could mean a lot.
So sick.
Yeah.
Cerebral from nicoodoz.
Almost every bullet hits here.
Check the health.
Let's see if he
Buddha doesn't even move, doesn't even...
Ooh, he even gave him his back.
Doesn't even react. He wants it.
Okay, you said it in Swedish.
It's been a while since Crims has gotten a knife at a major.
Yeah. Yeah, back on fnatic, it was like every day. And he was only like the 3rd best at doing it.
And it's a hell of a high.
It's been a great show. And it's not even 1/3 done. Will be after this game finishes, however.
Yes, final spot in the Legends stage to be secured by fnatic or mezii. Here we go, back to middle.
Back to middle for the op in this position, but the full A attack, it looks like, is going to come on in a few seconds. Did they want to walk out into this? They heard the op shot inside a window. Deagle and Spawn. And I think the Deagle jump spotting did get some information.
Ooh, but volley pressure and that flash. Nice. Wow. Oh, but NQZ with the collateral. And David catches the Fasher. Oh, Buddha off of the catwalk. He's going to keep it alive. Crims, you want a knife? How about a clutch? I bet it feels even better. David slides in. Easy pickup. Very little left of him. Bomb can be grabbed and Crims could depart. Could, but won't. At first he wants to face. And those CTs are going to keep this shoulder to shoulder, putting themselves in a spot to be sprayed. Crims goes over, and Max, because he is that close, it's a quick, efficient trade, and an 8th for mezii.
Yeah, excellent spacing and surviving the cat trade was the big one. That tips the scales in the end round. And now it's mezii. They've closed it to a 5-round game. They're making this possible. nicoodoz with the collat as well helps out a ton, makes up for the fact that they've got a deagle sitting in spawn. Just trying to find what he can find. And they'll take any kind of round. They don't care if it's just a clutch.
It's an AWP in spawn right now for mezii. An extra one on the ground. See if it has any importance here in round 22. nicoodoz looking for the sniper challenge.
That is interesting. Oh, yeah, that is interesting. To leave a whole op there, not deciding to double op.
And QZ towards ticket now, so if nicoodoz wanted that duel, it gets put into position, but he will fall back.
Yeah, this is Buddha in a position where he definitely could have used an op. An MP9 on the B apartments.
You know, Buddha fills an interesting role for this roster. Replaced Rox, who at the last major cycle was a clear underperformer for this mezii team. So it's not as though Buddha has to put up big ones, but 5-17 at the moment.
Uh-oh.
If mezii are going to keep up, you'd think maybe he has to slot in.
Oh, they drew attention for this underpass play, and mezii's found a huge timing.
Yeah, getting David killed is a big one. mezii, finds that timing onto Max. The cat player could be crucial. DGT's fixated on connector, but there's this problem for him. Roy slides out. We've got a 5 versus 2 from fnatic as they meticulously work their way from all different directions. Buddha's MP9 will prevail, but it also creates this pocket within the A site for fnatic to easily press in. It's low health for the 2 remaining players, and it feels like mezii need to allow this 14th to slide forward. Again, we're talking such little margin of error because of the first half that a round like this could be soul-crushing.
Yeah, that's a tough one too, because it was the right setup until they moved. All they did was bite on a bait and allow mezii to have free roam from the underpass. Once he got out, he got the first kill. Things got really hairy. And there was a lack of awareness in the cat position about how much of his body could have been showing. Didn't have any idea someone could be up there on cat as well. So even though they just had 2 players dedicated watching mid, they let go of mezii and underpass and someone walking all the way up cat. Made it look like he ran there. They're also doing a good job of identifying that David, he's had a habit of being, you know, on balk, under balk, whatever the case may be, and they've been playing in Palace consistently. Really suck the life out of the room here. mezii, they have an op once again. They're putting everything into this corner.
All right.
You know, this is to defend against match point. Never fun to hear that sound every single round, so.
And QZ gonna have to take up the reins of round 23. Needs to be the leader. And he's just gonna get completely blindsided by Roy. Did Roy have vision? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they just swung on him.
Sure, no support for it. Now suddenly DGT is kind of like the best, the up next.
Yeah,
and
they
it's
may
still
not
tough
have,
stuff.
May not have even known that he had an op on this round and decided to scrim mid. And QC maybe hoping they thought he had an op so that he could take an aggressive position like that and have a few seconds to buy. But really,
four CT rounds at the start of this one straight. We've had 4 back and forth rounds as well. But this is the buy that mezii have just tried to avoid. There's nowhere to run and hide now. Famas, MP9, double deagle. There's a smoke grenade over on Buddha, but there's nobody inside that B site. If they could win fights in middle first, then maybe a retake opens up. There's 1 kid, of course, on Buddha as well, so his death could be important. Where's it all get dropped? David, he catches a deagle kill. nicoodoz, in the meanwhile, he's going to find himself a double, and David gets just blindsided and pinched upon within this B site. It's 7 map points for fnatic.
These are
on the choice of mezii.
Yes, their map pick as well, and yeah, that's the problem with this veto. I mean, they took out Dust 2, which is the map that mezii have had some of the more historic victories on, and fnatic, they do a good job here. They've called some really good rounds recently. This one, they get all the attention drawn to mid. So much information gained from just that bench peek alone, and then they knew to pull the pin on the B play. They even smoked their own molly so they can get out faster, and then they scale onto the site. If there were better guns, there were a couple of small moments there where things could have gone haywire, but they were narrowly avoided by fnatic, and they don't have to think about that anymore.
4 MP9s, near non-existent utility, and a patient mezii will get that 5v4. They tried their absolute damnedest at the start of this half, thought maybe changing sides could reinvigorate their chances, but maybe it's DGT who's gonna have to take it all. A deep peek into the ramp, a smoke towards Palace, and Max, critical kill. Now these are upgrades, at least one free one. An AK grab by Max, man advantage currently held on to, and NQZ, he's calling that mid is currently under pressure. Roy, he's gonna walk right into that crosshair. And so it's a 2v4 from the English in-game leader and the Danish op. Mezii drops utility, caught by the 5-7, wounded now. 28 health if he wants to pinch into B, but they don't know about where the bomb is at. They could only guess it is apartments.
It somehow feels like they have a chance. I mean, they got info on a couple of guys at mid. DGT, he needs to be the beginning and end now. MP9 here at the van.
Yep, excellent, goes unchecked. Easy does it. Bomb goes down, and now mezii, not left. It's a double from DGT in the backside. mezii with the much lesser weapons will continue their hopes and dreams.
It seemed like no chance after that B push got held. An unanswered frag there, and then the push on A ramp didn't work out until the re-aggro came and the MP9 dropped another AK. Then the upgrade started pouring in, and they did a good job of maintaining info, but not actually dying. They got spotted by mezii inside a connector, and QZ gets this kill. And so, again, a lot of their proactivity has been paying off. mezii might be losing, but you can't say it's because they're playing scared.
Each of them putting up numbers, but with Fasher in this current form, nicoodoz and mezii not far behind him, it does just feel like all it's going to take is one more big heroic. We had it on so many CT rounds from fnatic, so many multiple kills off of Fasher. A site, B site, doesn't matter. Put him in the pocket, and he's going to grab as many frags as he damn well pleases.
He's defaulting Palace. You better believe he's going to get one more kill from that spot, and sometimes that could be the only kill you need. So
let's see it.
It's been a very kind of dangerous, aggressive lurker on the roster on this map.
Long play, Max. Whoa, whoa, Max. Oh, it's smoked.
Yeah, he's good for some time, but the thing is, his position in mid right now, it's not really, it's not adding or taking away from the round. They're still kind of very vanilla when everything, all the dust settles. DGT kind of has to be able to get back in time, and he's starting to get away from his post a little bit. We don't know if the idea from, it seems like the idea from fnatic is simply wait and then exec, but look, the underpass crawl actually starts coming out. So maybe this mid control early on is going to pay off, but DGT leaves his post.
He gives it up.
Yeah, it looks like they put a little pressure on B, dragged him away.
He's going to come,
oh my God.
Twice, two potential moments.
They're still selling fakes. They're still selling fakes on B. They're allowing this walk up to take place, and he goes down. Oh my God, this call is insane.
Meanwhile, we do have that top mid push, but it's being watched by nicoodoz. For a second, he looked at his teammate's screen and he can't react fast enough. Max comes through with what could be the recovery. Because Lord knows that the cat play could have been critical. Crimson Roy gonna find 2 more kills. They're low health though. This is again doable for mezii. 30 seconds.
Oh, they want to hold on to the site, but the bomb has to get recollected. And now Fasher has a new job. He's got to delay long enough.
He's alive.
They can get across. These smokes are here. They've got a molly inside of the pallet, inside of the jungle, and they're forcing a big rotation. Late con smoke comes up. Oh, actually, it's in for jungle. Fasher has to fight, but he knows now where both players were.
These are those kinds of moments that Fasher's going to deliver. 8 seconds. He's going to have to cover that plant. So sure enough, CTP comes through. Roy doesn't have the health for this, and mezii. How many moments did they miss in that round, and yet still in the end they recover?
Yeah, they're comfortable with the kind of very fast and atypical aggressive plays coming out of fnatic. The call looks so good, the way they spread the map, the way they pulled DGT off his post 2-3 times. The opper died on triple with no answer back, and DGT's like scratching his head. Man, there's so much pressure coming into B. He's trying to listen to the comms, but also trust himself, and so he keeps fighting with this idea of peeking down in the mid or going back to help his friend. He picks the wrong option, and then they still end up winning.
fnatic on pistols. Fruits of their labor, mezii. This should go down smooth. Utility's already starting to rain over, and Fasher's gonna go over top of the staircase.
Oh boy.
Now he's in a dangerous spot. David almost gets away from him, but he'll catch mezii and the bomb goes down. Gun's empty. Roy's gonna activate. In with the deagle. The M4 gets picked up, but it's empty, and the pistol gets shut down. Nicely done here from mezii. It's a little chaotic moment here, pressure applied, but all good for mezii. The South Americans within 4 of overtime.
Yes. I interviewed that man actually earlier, and with the twirly mustache, and he said he was super nervous about this game, and he knows and respects Fnatic. I would expect nothing less, but that kind of courtesy from a mezii fan. You know they're good guys. But he still believed, of course, that mezii could do it. I asked him for his truly most honest opinion on it. And he knows they fight until the very end. They're not a team on everyone's radar, but some of us were aware.
They limped into this stage. You know, they look like a shell of themselves as they started the event, and now just a shell is all they have in round 27. Crimson Fasher out the gate. And at the bottom of middle, Max will hold on. He's not alone.
Oh, this is tough. All the resources right now. They've got 2 and
no control.
Followed. Oh, but Yama's still sitting here.
Interesting. We've got tons of utility, but they are all on the other side of the map as an A plant comes through. There can be no time wasted. They need to sprint the distance into this retake and then hope that one can work his way out. The flash out from jungle. It's Buddha on his own on one end, deep CT position. And the hopes of the mezii fans on this retake, but by the time they arrive, the bomb is beyond the halfway point. This is so incredibly desperate that it's gonna have to take instantaneous kills. Knives out from mezii. Inside the smoke, he's lost, and there's not gonna be a defuse here. No how, no way, no sir. Fnatic serve up defeat within Mirage. It's 16-11, and off of the back of that 12-3 half, but you've got to say, mezii tried their damnedest.